A New Year's resolution for so many people: lose weight, exercise more. A big part of making that happen is your mindset. Joining us today are weight loss and life coach Charles D'Angelo, familiar face at Fox 2. We also have Allison Moneysmith, who lost 200 pounds.
Heck yeah.
I can't even, I'm trying to visualize this. We are going to see pictures of it. And Cody Hill, and Cody, 60 pounds, incredible. Thanks to all for being here. Oh, yeah. And Charles, you can relate to
Absolutely.
Cody and Allison because you kind of went through this yourself as a teen.
Yeah, so at 17 years old, I was 360 pounds. The things that most people take for granted, going up the stairs, talking to other people, doing things that all of us kind of take for granted were very, very difficult. You're looking at footage actually of me when I was 360 pounds. There I am in a rare photo at a pool, and there I am now. So I lost 160 pounds through simple changes in habit. I recognized, having tried everything else out, that there was something missing, and that missing link was mindset, how you change your relationship with yourself so food is no longer a distraction or a consolation. And I've spent the last 21 years helping people, with myself being my first client.
Wow. Yeah. And we have two of your other clients.
Yes.
One of them is Allison. This is hard to believe. You've lost more than 200 pounds. What was holding you back? And when did this all start?
It actually started in like 2010. I worked with Charles. I went to my doctor and I was like, I want to lose weight. And she's like, here's a pamphlet. And it was Charles' pamphlet. And so I talked to my mother about it and I contacted Charles and I worked with him, lost like 130 pounds back then. Life kind of happened and I gained like all the way back and more. And then recently, I had done some stuff on my own and I got an email from his office and I was like kind of hesitant, like, oh, should I go back? And then I decided to contact him and I came back and I actually my heaviest was 361, so similar to Charles.
Yes.
And then I worked with him because I needed a little more accountability to lose the last bit of weight, and now I'm like 200 pounds down, which is awesome.
Wow.
That's so good.
Yeah.
Accountability is a big part of this.
Yes.
What was your challenge to begin with?
I think my challenge was I just coped with food. Food was a source of comfort and
Kind of a treatment plan.
Yeah, a treatment plan. Mm-hmm. And I didn't I felt like exercise was kind of punishment, and so I didn't really enjoy it. So then I started finding things that I do enjoy, like hiking, and I do CrossFit.
And making it something that's part of your identity, something you can actually find pleasure in doing.
Yeah.
And you've kept it off.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Cody, you have a similar story as well.
Yeah, I was about, I think 220 was kind of when I came to Charles. And I tried to, my original goal was I wanted to lose 30 pounds before I turned 30. And I started in the end of March. And then I actually ended up losing 60 pounds in 4 months. So kind of blew that out of the water. And yeah, I've been in a sort of a maintenance mode since September, and I've just kept it off since then.
And talk about your wife.
Yeah, my wife joined the same time as me. She's down 110 pounds, I believe, right now, and she's still working with them right now. So
Yes.
Charles, what is the common link you would find in terms of the underlying issues?
I think it's all about disconnecting from using food spontaneously, being strategic with your food so that food becomes simply something that doesn't occupy so much space on your emotional landscape. So many of my clients are doctors, people that have incredible education on competency, on what to do, but it's really understanding why you need to change and then having a system in place, a strategy that's a massive action plan to help yourself make steady progress. Because when you're making progress, that's what lights you up, right? When you get on the scale every couple of weeks, when your clothes are getting looser, people are noticing, that progress is what equates to really feeling happy. So for someone watching, the first thing is have a vision of what you really want. When a client comes to me, we look at where is it we want to be 3, 6, 9, 12 months from now? And we start with those results. And then we talk about the reasons. Why do we need to do this? Why are we where we are? But we don't spend a lot of time in the mud of our history. It's more about why is change a must? And make it something exciting. Something's going to get you up early, keep you up late, really keep you going. And then you come up with a roadmap. So what are you going to eat? When are you going to eat? How much? What exercise do you need to do? So many people, even after 20 years, think I'm a trainer. I never set foot in a gym with any of my clients. It's all sitting, talking, and helping really develop a much better and refined mindset about themselves, about food, and about exercise.
Talked about mindset. How important did you guys find that to be, the emotional component? I'll start with you, Allison.
I feel like the emotional component's pretty much most of it because, you have to break the barrier of treating food as comfort and it's fuel. And you kind of, like Charles works with us to like, if we have these barriers, to talk us through it and like come up with an action plan and kind of have a more like healthy mindset overall.
And how about you, Cody?
Yeah, I'd say that and the accountability were like the two biggest things for me. And just kind of having someone tell you what to eat and when to eat. At first, I kind of thought that would be like, some chains, a hindrance and stuff, but that kind of gives you a lot more freedom. You're not worried about it all the time. And it makes the whole process just 10 times easier. That was kind of the secret ingredient, because I've lost some weight in the past and always kind of roller coastered, but that was kind of the big key for me.
Charles, you have a client, Dr. Braithwaite?
Yes, Dr.
We
Sabina
have
Braithwaite.
we have some footage of her. I guess she's had quite a journey.
Well, she was on the show when Shirley was hosting.
A few
the
years
show
ago.
During the pandemic, yes, that's Dr. Sabina. And just yesterday, she shared that it's now 5 years of having lost 100 pounds, 5 years ago with me, having kept it off.
Wow.
How close are you in touch with your clients and former clients?
It depends on each person. My goal is to never see my clients ever again. Because my real aim is to help them develop a type of inner compass where they install everything they learn from me so they can carry that forward in their lives independently. Obviously, my door is always open if someone struggles. Like with Allison, that is an all too common story, that we end up playing whack-a-mole with our weight. We get to a place and we sometimes mistakenly put a finish line on it. We tell ourselves we've done it, we celebrate, and life happens and stress comes up. And if you haven't recognized the need to really condition these habits as something that they never go away, you're going to have to be conscious, you're going to have to be strategic, you're going to have to be intentional if you want to preserve the equity of your health. And now with the advent of all these weight loss drugs, you and I were talking before the segment, I always tell people pills and drugs are great for a lot of things, like aspirin can be for a headache, but losing weight and maintaining it, in my opinion, certainly is not.
We hear about Ozempic, that's and we go all these other drugs, and they do have their purpose, their primary purpose, but as you said, there are some fundamentals, the A, B's, and C's.
Well, the question you have to ask yourself, and this goes for anything you're really thinking about doing as the new year unfolds, how am I going to sustain whatever it is that I'm embarking on? When you need to lose a massive amount of weight, like in Allison's case, 200 pounds, in Cody's case, 60, and his wife's case, over 100, the means to get into your outcome is going to be different than the strategy to maintain that. So when you get to your goal, what we do is we open it up so you have a much broader range of motion with food choices. There's less cardio involved, and then people often, as you saw in Cody's picture, decide they want to get into resistance training. So really it's all about stepping into an identity of being athletic. I mean, I would have never thought at age 16, 17 that my life calling was to help people reclaim their personal power in the way that I do. I didn't eat vegetables. I wouldn't touch anything that was healthy. I really felt like I had an aversion in a lot of ways, and I could have been the king of excuses. So I look at this not so much as a job, but as a calling, a mission.
And one thing you mentioned about kind of exercise, some people don't like, and I liked hearing Allison talk about how you made it your own thing with hiking. And Cody, how about you, real quick?
Yeah, I've always kind of been a little bit into strength training, stuff like that, but the cardio definitely, I didn't expect myself to kind of enjoy it this much, and it's something that even after I'm done working with Charles, it's something I'll probably have every day. It just makes you feel so much better, and I kind of rolled my eyes whenever you hear about people talking about, this is going to be a lifestyle change when you're on this diet or you're losing this weight, but it really has been. Like, it's kind of changed the way I've looked at food and exercise and everything like that.
And the one thing I want to say, I know we have to wrap up, is you want to take action if you're inspired right now. You're watching this, you're listening to these two incredible inspirations share their story, you see my stuff, but what really accounts for change is making a decision and acting on it. How many times do we go to the bookstore and buy a book and it sits on the shelf? So if you're feeling excited, reach out to somebody. It can be me, it can be whatever, and make the decision right now as you're watching this, I'm going to take the first step to start to change my life. It's simple. It's all about consistency. Small, good decisions repeated over time, and that's the formula for the success you see in Allison and Cody.
All right, guys, thanks so much for joining us.